JediDoesjiujitsu is the biggest brown belt YouTuber. I flew all the way to Trinidad Tobago to test my skills as an upcoming blue belt against one of the leaders of YouTube Jiu-Jitsu. Now before we face Jedi, we have two super tough matches to get through. The first round being none other than Nikki, the wife of Jordan teaches Jiu-Jitsu and an absolute killer brown belt. Nikki menacingly starts scooting towards me, looking to break my legs. I manage to just skate by her leg entanglements until she uses her hook leg to wrestle up, and I choose to spin out to guard. From here, she immediately attacks at a loose knee slice, then falls back on a toe hold. However, she isn't the first female brown belt to try and toe hold me, and thanks to my previous experiences, I've gotten fairly decent at defending them. I'll keep my knee line outside of her hip line by pressing up against her leg, and this will free me from the toe hold. She continues to chain her attacks together with an over-under pass, then outside knee slice, switching up the angles and making it incredibly difficult to control. She'll sit back and nearly bites onto my leg, but I turn out before things get too dangerous, and then I finally see an opening. When she least expects it, I launch on my best move, the triangle choke, and work towards a finish by underhooking the leg and making sure my knees stay pinched in. I take her upside down, and I get the tap. But take note of this move, as we'll see it multiple times throughout the rolls today. After we reset, Nikki finally secures that loose knee slice pass that she's been working to this whole time. Things really get bad for me as she high legs over to mount and then ends up transitioning to my back. Things only get worse from here as she clamps onto my arm and starts wrenching on my elbow. I use the hitchhiker to defend the armbar by readjusting the angle at which my elbow is getting pressured at. Eventually, I'll be able to step over and I almost collect a knee bar. But she escapes by using her foot on the inside of my knee, and she manages to push herself out of the attack. Nikki continues to disrespect my guard by completely shutting down my K-guard entry by controlling my left leg and starts to work her way in a mount. This time she falls directly onto the arm and negates my hitchhiker by controlling the base of my thumb, then hips in to finally take home my elbow. Going into our next match, we face a fellow YouTuber blue belt named Ryan. He has a strong wrestling background and recently just defeated a black belt, submitting him twice in the water mat tournament. This means I have to work extra hard if I want to survive, let alone even submit Ryan in this match. As we start off, you can see Ryan just effortlessly moving me around, snapping me into different dimensions. After deciding I don't want to end up like this guy, I decide to pull guard. Ryan uses quick attack and nearly collects an early pass. To defend this, I give him free feet picks and jab it between us to block his attack. He'll then start to use a double unders pass, but he's no match for my big toe and has to resort to something else. As he switches the angle of his attack, I counter by rocking my hips back and I nearly catch him in a triangle. He'll fall back on a leg, but I turn out and hide my heel, just enough to escape my knee line, and then I dive onto a front headlock. As I go to sit onto a mounted guillotine, Ryan controls my hips and nearly passes into side control. I abandon the guillotine at the last second and direct all my energy into defending. By merely 2 inches, which is a lot by the way, I'm able to ward off the wrestler and sit out to open guard. He'll then start flirting with me, so I agree to hold his hand. However, it was actually a sneak attack as I jump onto his leg using a K-guard entry. I first attack a heel hook, and then I go for the infamous cry angle. Ryan will avoid all of my inverting bullshit and then dumps me worse than my middle school girlfriend. I'm nearly able to lock onto a nasty armbar, but Mr. Olympia's elbow declines my attack. Eventually, he'll break my close guard and then falls onto a front headlock. I'll use the same defense that he did earlier to roll with the guillotine and put myself on the opposite side of the choke, resulting in a very low finishing rate. I'll advance to knee on belly, but Ryan wastes no time throwing me off instantly. Then, as I go in for my signature knee cut, he comes up on a single, and then this happens.
Clean.
Now if you noticed, I actually had to switch angles because as I threw up the triangle, I kicked my own camera, and it shut off. But shoutouts to this guy for catching the triangle. Now after fighting both Nikki and Ryan, we face YouTube's brown belt king, JediDoesjiujitsu. Before that, make sure to check out my sponsors in the description, Minimal Snacks for a healthy, delicious beef jerky. And if you like that minimalistic but unique style, check out YJJS for exclusive gear. They sell out fast, so don't miss your chance. And now to fight Jedi. We'll start off the round with a super sick fist bump, and then I'll start to feel Jedi out. What kind of game is he playing? As I start to cut an angle, I notice he falls towards his side instead of realigning himself sitting up, which is exactly the reaction I was looking for to complement my blast cut. Jedi wastes no time shoving me back into guard and recovering to a better position. As I go for it again, he's keen to my attack, resulting in me missing my underhook and forcing me to make a decision of either giving him my back or rolling out to guard. Now, I'm not a huge fan of giving my back to dudes, so I opt to roll out. Jedi starts off his passing attack with a basic leg drag. I don't necessarily feel threatened, so I counter with an easy step over. It's not until he begins his stack pass that things really start to get intimate, and at this point I can't tell if I felt vulnerable or aroused. Now that I've got to know him more, I don't mind him taking the role of the big spoon, but I soon realize he isn't trying to cuddle anymore. So I grab a wrist grip and quickly turn out to his guard. I go for another knee slice, but he sits all the way up and we retreat back to standing. I shoot down for a single leg, but it's no match for Jedi's dance moves as he effortlessly kicks out. He then sits into an armbar, but my elbow slips right outside of his hip line, allowing me to escape. I then quickly follow that up with a knee cut, securing my first official pass of the round. Jedi controls my near leg, preventing my ability to armbar. He then turtles, but quickly rises back to his feet using deep half guard. From here, he enters into a stack pass, but opts to fall back on my leg and hits the first submission of the round by straight ankle lock. The humility doesn't end there. As soon as we grip up again, he nails me with a clean foot sweep and then shows everyone how threatened he really feels about my guard. I gave him a good reason. After he attempted a flying armbar, I followed it up with a fairly deep knee bar entry. He turns his knee just in time and is able to escape the knee bar. The round is ending soon, so I go for a Hail Mary heel hook, but get humbled by yet another ankle lock. At this point, I feel like I ran out of time, and I'll be going home as just another blue belt who got dabbed on by Jedi. Then I started feeling something coming from deep within me.
Stronger! One for all! 1,000,000%!
So just to break down this little sequence here, I shoot in for a double leg and my left leg was the real MVP, securing the takedown with the trip. Then for the knee slice, notice how my elbow curves in towards my ribs, leaving zero space and blocking the knee shield from entering. Jedi nearly turns me once I'm in side control, but my triangle game plays right into the underhook wrestle up, so as soon as I felt a hand in the pocket of my hip and one hand on the floor carrying Jedi's weight, I knew I could launch into a triangle. And that is how I submitted JediDoesjiujitsu. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a compliment down for one of our training partners, either Nikki, Ryan, or Jedi, in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
I'm Carsahh, dude.
All that was actually.
Oh, no, no, no.